Good evening. Thank you for joining us here for KREM 2 News First at 10, where we are going to be giving you more news in less time. I'm Whitney Ward. Let's get started. Well, tonight we are getting straight to weather because after a day of overcast skies, we could see rain and possible thunderstorms overnight. Meteorologist Michelle Boss is joining us now. Michelle, what do we need to know as we get ready for the weekend?
Okay, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms, but it's not going to be a complete washout. There should be several periods of dry weather and even some sun breaks, especially on Father's Day on Sunday. So here's what we're looking at for the weekend. Probably be relatively quiet overnight, but we do have our best chance of thunderstorms by Saturday afternoon. High temperatures again coming in cooler for the weekend, only in the 60s, so we'll be below average. Sunday, some isolated showers, not too bad for Father's Day. We do still have a flood watch for Okanagan and Ferry County until Saturday night. Potential for some heavy rain along with those thunderstorms. Right now things are relatively quiet. Right now we just have a few showers across the region, mainly across North Idaho and northwestern Montana. Things are pretty dry across much of eastern Washington for the time being. Temperature wise, on the mild side, the cloud cover should keep our overnight low temperatures in the 50s. We're currently sitting at 60 right now in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. And here's a look at your short-term forecast. Cloudy skies overnight, a few sprinkles tomorrow morning, and again a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Another step closer today to a final sentencing for the Freeman High School shooter. Today, victim impact statements continued in court. It was nearly 5 years ago that a fellow student walked into school and opened fire, killing one student, Sam Strahan, and injuring 3 others. Today, one of those young women who was shot faced the gunman in court. Here's KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk with more.
Well, Jordan Goldsmith told the court she thought her time on Earth was over when she found herself lying in a pool of her own blood, surrounded by classmates. She told Caleb Sharp she would have been his friend. Now she hopes he rots away in a jail cell. September 13th, 2017 started out like any other day. Jordan Goldsmith was at her locker talking with friends when gunshots rang out on the 2nd floor of Freeman High School.
I froze watching bullet after bullet come out of the barrel of that pistol.
Moments later, Jordan was shot 3 times. A friend pulled her into a classroom.
The biggest thing I've had to deal with was coping with the fact that I truly thought my time on Earth was over. Laying on the floor in a pool of my own blood.
Nearly 5 years have passed. Jordan now plays college volleyball at San Diego State University, but the shooting left scars that Jordan and her family deal with every day. Her mom, Liz, recalled the moment she was finally reunited with her daughter and how she described the boy that tried to kill her.
Do you know who shot you? Yes, Mom, I saw it all. Who did this? Caleb Sharp. He was a nice boy, Mom. Caleb, do you hear how Jordan described you after you shot her? You shot her at point blank, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And you tried a 4th while she was running. He was a nice boy, Mom. I hear those words in nightmares. How can a nice boy shoot my beautiful baby girl?
Jordan's dad says he still has nightmares and a constant fear of what his children are doing and who's around them.
There are no number of years that can justify what he has done. He should rot in jail and rot in hell.
You have no business walking on this earth after what you have done to me, my friends, my family, my community, and especially Sam.
Caleb Sharp's sentencing is scheduled to resume August 10th and goes through the 19th. While the majority of victims have asked the judge to give Sharp the maximum sentence, Washington state law does not allow life sentences for people who commit crimes when they are minors. Whitney.
Kyle, thank you very much. And now to Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Trial for one of the men accused of murdering Jason Fox from Newport is nearing the end. This morning, the jury began deliberations.
Riley Husted also testified to punching Mr. Fox so hard that it wasn't a sucker punch, he saw it coming. But that doesn't make him guilty of murder.
Riley Hillstad is the one who is now facing murder charges after the 19-year-old's body was discovered in the fall of 2020. The Pend Oreille County jury has several charges to consider, including first-degree murder, kidnapping, unlawful disposal of human remains, and tampering with evidence. And coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll break down what happened in court today and what attorneys discussed in those closing arguments. A man and woman accused of horrific child abuse have both pleaded guilty. 26-year-old Nicholas Branson was charged with 2 counts of injury and sexual abuse of a child, both of which are felonies. And 26-year-old Haley Harris also pleaded guilty back in March for injury to a child. Their initial arrest was in January following a month-long investigation by the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. They had received reports of a 7-week-old infant with, quote, traumatic injuries. In Northwest news tonight, Idaho Governor Brad Little signed a state disaster declaration today because of spring flooding in Nez Perce and Idaho counties. The excessive rainfall and runoff is causing significant damage and dangerous travel conditions. That declaration will make funding available now to those counties to help with response and repair efforts. Well, that was your Night Beat. Now to learn more about any of those stories, remember to just text the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000. We'll send them right to your phone. Also tonight, authorities in Alabama are trying to figure out what led to a deadly shooting at a church outside of Birmingham.
An occasional attendee of the church that I will only identify as a white male was at the dinner. At some point, he produced a handgun and began shooting, striking 3 victims.
That tragedy at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church happened yesterday evening. Authorities say it was a 71-year-old man who attended that church occasionally who opened fire at a potluck dinner. An 84-year-old man and 75-year-old woman were both killed, and another 84-year-old woman was rushed to the hospital but later died of her injuries. Investigators say the gunman acted alone. His motive is still unclear. The FDA has authorized the first COVID shots for infants and preschoolers, paving the way for vaccinations to begin as early as next week. That means roughly 18 million kids under 5 will be eligible for those shots. This news comes after the FDA authorized Moderna's vaccine for school-age children and teens. Previously, Pfizer's shots were the only ones available for those age groups. Now there's only one step left. The CDC has to recommend how to use the vaccines. That vote could come tomorrow. If it does get final approval, those vaccinations could start next week. Spokane's East Trent Bridge replacement has hit a big milestone. The original historic bridge was demolished 2 years ago to make way for a modern replacement. Now, concrete pouring for the first section of the bridge deck is set to begin on Tuesday, and the updated bridge will include pedestrian sidewalks and bike lanes in both directions. The new bridge is set to reopen by the end of next year. Well, that was the final bell today, which means school is officially out for summer break. Most districts in the area had the last day of school today, including SPS and Central Valley. There are a few other districts that are still in session, like Meade. Their last half day is on Monday. And looking ahead to tomorrow, Spokane County pools also opening for the summer. Spokane's North Side and South Side family aquatic facilities will be open every day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then from 2:30 to 5:30. Online reservations are encouraged but not required. For information on special swim sessions and entry prices, you can visit the Spokane County website. And of course, don't forget, Father's Day is this Sunday. And for those of you who don't know, Father's Day actually originated right here in Spokane in 1910. Sonora Smart Dodd was inspired to create a day to recognize great fathers like hers. William Smart raised her as well as her 5 brothers after his wife died during childbirth. And she advocated then for 60 years to make Father's Day a national holiday. And in 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed a proclamation calling for the third Sunday in June to always be recognized as Father's Day. And we know fathers play a very special role in our lives, so we want to highlight them here at KREM 2. You can text your photos and messages for your dad or for the father figure in your life. Just send it to 509-448-2000. Make sure to tell us his name and why he's so awesome. These are just a few of the great pictures we have already received today, and keep them coming so we can give all those great dads out there a little extra recognition. And this is my own father. I lost him sadly 8 years ago, but I think of him, of course, every Father's Day. That is my husband, who is also a great dad. So I thanks to both of them for being such amazing dads. That was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. Don't go to bed just yet, though, because after the break, we have more on a big story today. Jury deliberations underway in the trial for a man accused of killing Jason Fox. What was said in closing arguments is next. We're back in 90 seconds.